group, pop side of them. And it was a blessing and a curse because they were sure they were happy about getting signed first, and they were on the Benjamins and shit was going. But then he made them jiggy and put them in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and raped them.
Sean Carter is worse.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you'll come on in the room and let's talk about this drama real quick, because the streets are bringing up some old evidence to show how rapper DMX was allegedly trying to expose Jay-Z and Diddy for allegedly taking out younger artists so they could steal the artist masters and money off them. Now, there are several interviews where DMX was trying to spill his truth, and y'all, the streets are now saying that Diddy and Jay-Z allegedly unalived DMX to protect themselves. Listen, y'all, this stuff. Rama is absolutely crazy, so let's break it on down.
He's been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years.
Okay, so y'all know how people have been saying the truth about Diddy, and Diddy's true nature has been right in front of us this entire time, but we didn't notice what was going on. Well, it looks like the situation is even worse than we thought, because old videos are now coming up about DMX where he tried to expose Diddy, but we just didn't pay a lot of attention to it now. At the time, we didn't know how bad Diddy allegedly was, and if there was one thing about the rap industry is that you always have people coming out telling stories to try to discredit somebody else. Listen, no other industry in Hollywood has had beef like the rap industry. So when DMX said those things about Diddy, people thought that he was just trying to paint Diddy in a bad light because they had their issues, but quiet at his kept. DMX was probably telling the truth, because the things he said about Diddy are the same things that he is now getting sued for. So it looks like X going to give it to you, because listen, he was way big before his time when it came to exposing Diddy. Some old footage recently started making rounds again where DMX was talking about how Diddy treats his artist. According to DMX, Diddy treats his artist very unfairly. He claimed that Diddy forced his artist to write his lyrics, which he then passed off as his own, and claimed that he wrote them. He also took all their publishing wars away, and DMX claimed that Diddy S.A. the
Well, Locks got signed by that. Even though I bought the Locks Store Riders, they got signed. They were a safer group, pop side of them. And it was a blessing and a curse because they were sure they were happy about getting signed first, and they were on the Benjamins and shit was going. But then he made them jiggy and put them in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and raped them.
Now the rumors about Diddy treating his artists badly are nothing new, because he was basically using them to make himself richer without really helping them grow as artists. For example, Tanya Blown, who signed to Bad Boy Records in 1996, and for 4 years, she only released 2 singles and no album in the meantime. Diddy forced her to write songs for him and other Bad Boy artists. Tanya claimed that Diddy kept her tied to the label with fake promises of an album, and he even forced her to record 50 to 60 songs that she really didn't like, only to drop her as an artist and scrap her album after 4 years. But it gets even worse up, because she claims that she had gotten so frustrated with the album being ignored that she tried to take her own life. She said it was the hardest decision because that was how I was able to provide and take care of my family at the time. It was so hard it broke me. It really did. I went into therapy with bad thoughts and even attempted to unalive myself. I was in a Dallas hospital on a 72-hour watch. I had taken pills and I decided this is it. My son was fine. He would have had people to take care of him. I just gave up. But Tanya sadly wasn't the only one, because he did worse to shine. Back in the day, he and his then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez Joe were involved in a shooting incident at a nightclub. Diddy caught some charges related to the incident, and he was facing some serious jail time. But the charges miraculously got dropped, and Diddy walked free. Well, as it turns out, the only reason it got dropped was that Diddy had thrown one of his artists, Shine, who was with him at the nightclub at the time of the incident, under the bus, and then made him take the fall. According to his former bodyguard, Diddy allegedly paid witnesses to testify against Shine during the trial.
Those people were testifying. They were brought to Puff first, saying that what they saw against Shine, what they saw Shine do. The DA didn't even know those people existed. You understand what I'm saying? Sean said it himself, y'all.
Y'all, the wild part about all this is that Bad Boy Records then dropped Shine when he was still in prison. Now, Shine also confirmed that Diddy had betrayed him in 2020 interview, where he said, "Puff apologized, he did apologize to me for that. When we met in Paris, he did say that he could have handled it better, but he was under a lot of pressure from the lawyers to throw me under the bus." Then we also have Mia Mace, who has been claiming for years that Diddy never paid him for the work that he did with Lee. He was that bad boy. Now remember how DMX said that Diddy forced his rappers to write his RS. And then he passed the bars off as his own. Well, Mace has always claimed that he wrote most of Diddy's raps during the time that he was that bad boy, but did he never gave him credit or payment now. Diddy, on the other hand, claimed that Mace didn't make much money while he was that bad boy, which is kind of hard to believe considering that Mace had a total of 5 platinum singles, 5 hot rap songs number 1 singles, and 6 Billboard Hot 100 top 10 singles in just 2 years. But not only that, did he also mocked Mace for becoming a pastor after leaving Bad Boy, calling him a fake pastor who was trying to deceive people.
You know, I did one album with Mace. One album. How much money do you think I owe this guy? One album? And then he became a fake pastor and went and conned people.
So it looks like DMX had no cap at all at the end. But that's not all he said, because he also claimed that Diddy allegedly R-worded his artist at the time. People took this to refer to the fact that Diddy was ripping off his artists and leaving them broke, while he made millions off of them. But knowing what we know now about Mr. Diddy and the allegations that have been made against him in the past couple of weeks, fans are now saying that DMX meant what he said literally and not figuratively. Plus, DMX had a personal history with Diddy, so he allegedly knew firsthand what Diddy was really like. DMX wanted to be signed to Bad Boy Records, but Diddy wasn't feeling him because he thought that DMX's voice was too rough and he wasn't marketable. But the moment he heard that Def Jam was interested in signing DMX, he suddenly got desperate to sign him. According to reports, it wasn't until Def Jam laid their offer on the table to sign X that Diddy decided to take back his initial decision. He was like, "I'll lace your pockets. I'll double what they gave you and lace your pockets." Luckily for DMX, he didn't take Diddy up on his offer, and he signed to Def Jam instead, where he had a successful career until Diddy's BFF Jay-Z became the president of Def Jam, and he tried to take DMX down. Now, before we get into DMX and Jay-Z, can we please talk about why he didn't take the juicy deal that Diddy offered him? Yes, this happened before he knew about how Diddy ripped off his artists. So why did he turn Diddy down after he begged Diddy to sign him to Bad Boy? Well, the streets are saying that sometime between DMX asking to be assigned to Bad Boy and Diddy offering him a role, DMX found out that Diddy had allegedly been unliving his artists, especially those that were successful. There has been a conspiracy theory for years that Diddy was the brain behind Biggie Smalls' death because he wanted to own Biggie's catalog. Even Chicknit has talked about how weird it is that Diddy has been profiting so much from Biggie's death. The streets are saying that if Diddy can't gain access to an artist's masters when they're alive, he allegedly unives them so he gets all the money for himself, which is extra shady. And allegedly, this is why DMX chose to keep his distance from Diddy, because he didn't want to get caught up in that mess. And while he did have some successful years at Def Jam, things changed when Jay-Z became president, because Jay allegedly felt jealous and threatened by DMX, and he wanted to talk DMX down a notch. According to DMX, Jay-Z was obsessed with staying at the top at all times, and he never wanted anyone to be as big as he was. DMX